This episode is brought to you by No Lack Nation. When you think about what do you need and what do you want out of life, what do you think? No Lack has taken the messages and mantras that represent hustle, grind, and ambition and turned them into art so that they can be worn as an extension of expression for yourself. It isn't just a clothing brand. No Lack is a state of being, a collective presence of individuals with unique visions but common goals. Go down to their store, 1214 East Carson Street. Check out their inventory. Tell them MVP Podcast sent you. Get some gear. Also shop at their website at nolacknation.com. Rolling?
But yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, we're rolling. I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
I'm going right now.
Oh, I got my Michelob.
All right, go. Michelob. We're all sponsored. Shout out to Michelob Ultra. Yeah, cheers. Cheers to the potty.
Cheers.
But we're here today with Brandon Greco, aka Mad Dog.
How you doing?
We appreciate you coming on, B. Brandon's been a friend of mine since
Long time, dude.
7, 8, 9.
Long time, dude.
It's been a while. So I mean, I when we were thinking about people that really kind of embody what we do, what we talk about, and just like a different story, man. And we were just fishing, and I was talking about how crazy of a life that you've lived so far, and the fact that you're only, are you 22? You're 22 now, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just turned
Damn,
22 in January. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, through like these past couple of years, it's been a roller coaster for you, bro. I mean, it's been a fun one. And tell us a little bit about where you're at right now, what you're doing at Service Master, and maybe a little bit about how you got to Service Master.
Okay. So at Service Master, we do a lot of disaster restoration. So if someone has, water problems in their house, say, sprinkler line breaks, or, they light their kitchen on fire during Thanksgiving or during Easter or something like that, we're responsible for, mitigating it, tearing everything out and putting everything back in. How I got there, originally I was in the Carpenters Union right out of high school, and did that for about three and a half years. With that 3.5 years, I learned a lot. Obviously wish I would have learned a little bit more, but there's always time to learn more. And that brought me to this job with a little bit of experience. The thing that was probably the toughest on me with the position I'm in is trying to, instruct 55-year-olds being 22 on how to do things they've been doing for 35 years. So there's definitely ups and downs with the industry that I'm in.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, some of the stories that you've even told me with, you have like a great group of guys that work with you too. But I can only imagine going in on day one and you're just like, all right, let's do this thing, and I'm gonna get to these guys one way or the other, and earn that respect early, which I think you have at this point.
That's huge, and it took a little while. Like I was saying, there's not a whole lot of dudes and women that are older that want to listen to somebody who's significantly younger than them. They have kids. There's I've people that I work with. They have kids that are older than me. So there's definitely struggles with that at first, but I think I've earned enough respect to the point where everything's moving like a machine now,
Yeah, you could do your job. Take us back. You hit on a point a little bit, which is, I think, a lot different than a lot of people do is go to college. And I really want to go back to your high school days, man, because you were bent on going to the military.
Absolutely, yeah. So I wanted to serve my country. I thought that's where I wanted to be for the rest of my life. Everything that I prepared for, the way I am as a person, I thought I would have made a great soldier. Unfortunately, that didn't work out because of my hearing in my right ear. I'm pretty much deaf. in my right ear, and that caused them obviously, to deny me from my entry into the military. But on top of that, played football in high school. Had an opportunity to go play a little football at Cal U in California, PA. Went on a tour there. Went into the locker room. Walked through the weight room. And I said, "There's no fucking way I'm ever going to play here."
It's crazy. It's literally eye opening. I think when you go in and you don't realize like how much of athletes are at the D2 level.
There's some dogs in there. People I've never seen people that big before. Absolutely monsters of human beings. That would have been in front of me. So that wasn't an option. So the only other option I really had, I wasn't going to college. Wasn't a really great student in high school. Classroom was not my element, but I always knew that I had enough mental toughness and enough physicality where I could have made manual labor, an option in my life that would have made sense. Mm-hmm. So I, was looking around at different trades at first, and I stumbled upon the Carpenters Union. With the Carpenters Union, ended up getting with a good company called Rycon. A lot of commercial work. Steel framing, hanging drywall, hanging acoustic ceilings and stuff like that. And I really fell in love with it right out of high school. I think it's the best move I could have made, financially. And it also allowed me to, keep close with, my girlfriend at the time, which is now my wife. Hey, Evie.
Shout out to Eve back home watching this right now.
I couldn't be more blessed to be in a situation that I'm in right now. Like I said earlier, I made a lot of good acquaintances, learned a lot of things, and it's only propelled me forward into the position I'm in right now.
Oh yeah, of course. What do you think was like the deciding factor? I mean, I've heard some crazy stories that you've told about working some of these jobs down in Pittsburgh with, everybody kind of goes through it, I'm sure, at the beginning of the Carpenters Union and taking your lumps and earning your stripes.
Absolutely.
But what was your deciding factor whenever you jumped in and moved to Service Master?
So, I was given an opportunity where I had a position of leadership with Service Master, and that's something that really enticed me. I see myself as a go-getter. I see myself as somebody I want to climb, and I was in a position there where I didn't have a cap. I could fully excel to my potential, and that's something that was huge for me. Obviously, 20 years old. It's kind of hard to say no to a position where you get to call the shots. Now, a little bit nerve-wracking, obviously, for the simple fact that I really didn't know what I was jumping into. We see everything under the sun at this company. Everything from, like I said, big water jobs where whole houses are flooded, full fires. We do cleanups too, like suicide cleanups, which is crazy if you could you wrap your head around that. Big sewage jobs where you're just walking in people's shit for 8 hours. But it really is something I do enjoy, and I plan on eventually taking this company over here within the next couple of months, and my role will change a little bit, but I'm really happy where I'm at, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to really spread my wings and jump into something that I can make my own.
Oh yeah. Would you say that since working in a role like that at such a young age, or even making the decision to go that direction? Were there a lot of people trying to pull you one way or the other? Was there a lot of people trying to give you advice?
Yeah, there's people, even close to me that, told me it was a bad idea, jumping into something. I had a stable job in a union. A lot of people try to tell you you're crazy for leaving. You don't know what you're jumping into. You're not ready. But at the end of the day, I knew I was ready. A lot of people didn't agree with most things in my life, like getting married at 21. A lot of people around me said that that's not going to work out. You'll get divorced in the next 5 years. You don't have the money right now. Not going to college, getting into the military. Everyone thinks it's a bad idea. But at the end of the day, I really really think that everybody who told me, not to do something, that only gave me motivation, and it still gives me motivation to this day, to prove everybody wrong that ever told me I wasn't going to be nothing, and that was a bad move. And pretty much at this point, I'm shutting everyone's mouth. So that's something that I really take pride in, and I still continue to build. And I want to get myself to a level where nobody asks any questions anymore. Nobody questions whether or not I made the right decision. Not that it's important what anyone else thinks, but it's very, very satisfying, when you can shove someone's foot in their mouth.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I mean,
100%.
dude, over that kind of goes back to the question we asked with like Nick and the barber guys with motivating you is like the haters or the people
what was
that
that
love around
question?
you.
Would you rather prove the doubters wrong or prove the people that believed in you right? That was the question, and that kind of goes hand in hand with that.
See,
the life you've led, I think it is.
I 100% would rather have to prove the haters. That's what fuels me every day is proving haters wrong. I mean, it's propelled me in, everything in life. It's just, everyone says, like I was saying earlier, everyone says you're no good. That's a bad idea. You don't know what you're talking about. And I love that. I love when you can just shut people's mouths and make them eat their words. And those are the people. Those are the people that after you shut them up, give you compliment after compliment after compliment. And I love that.
100%.
Yeah. No,
honestly,
it is.
no, you're right. Like there's a lot of satisfaction in doing that.
People always switch up.
Yeah,
People always switch up after, and they try to act like they were part of it, and they weren't.
Mm-hmm.
Take us, dude. Like,
keep your grass low.
Yeah,
so snakes don't get you.
Oh yeah.
They, I mean, you hit on getting married at 21, and I remember. I mean, we've known each other for so long. I've known Eve for so long, and like all of us are friends, Julia included.
Absolutely family.
And, yeah, dude, exactly. At this point, and I remember, like you telling me, it was always in like part of the. Oh, I just messed with that. And part of like the plan was after I get out of here and I'm gonna live at home a couple years and then get married.
There was absolutely since I met that girl we met in gym class my freshman year in high school, and ever since then I knew since our first date I knew we were gonna get married 100%. There was no question about it. She's absolutely my best friend. Couldn't ask for more support in my life.
You guys are two dogs, man. Like Eve's a grinder too. Like if you met her, bro, she was at Aldi working in that program as well, and she had the X1, didn't she? They hook you up with the X1 there, but now she's working with financial planning, right, for retirements.
Yep,
and, dude, she's a
Panowitz and Associates. Yeah, she's so motivated, and we feed off each other's energy. We've always had something where we always competed to see who can make the most amount of money. So I mean, when you're in a position like that,
that's good.
It's a little friendly competition. We were actually just talking about it at breakfast this morning. But she's an absolute. She busts her ass every day in and out. She not only does she succeed at work, but she's always on top of things at home.
Unreal cook.
Yeah, she could really, really cook. Ooh.
Could be dangerous for you sometimes,
yeah.
though, man.
See, that's the problem.
B can eat, bro.
Oh yeah.
B can eat. There's a story of B where my dad, he was literally talking about it today when he was up here, and we had leftover, we had like meatloaf at my house, and I was like, I'm not eating this meatloaf. Dude came in, it was after like football practice or something. He comes in and smashes like a whole meat, like half a whole meatloaf. My dad comes out, he's like, "Where'd the meatloaf go?" And B's like, "Oh, I ate it."
To be fair, he was pushing it on me. He was pushing it on me.
He tried to act today like he wasn't pushing it on you, and I'm like, "Bro, he was putting queso on top of the meatloaf," and was like, he was like, "B, eat more," and I was like, "Yo, how much is B gonna keep eating?" It was impressive, dude.
I was just trying to show him. That's
funny.
But we were talking. I mean, you were saying about how you've always kind of had like a little bit of a chip and like on your shoulder, and
absolutely.
I think it stems back to the earlier days of you were adopted.
Absolutely.
And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with trying to constantly prove and prove other people wrong. Has that been something that's been in your thought process a lot, or something that you think about a lot?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I got a little brother at home named Bryce, and a little sister at home named Claire, and we were all adopted. My parents were unable to have kids, and it's played a big role in my life. There's always, I want to give thanks to my dad for giving me this chip on my shoulder that I have. He was never easy on me. Obviously always close to him, like he was almost like he was a brother to me, which I know that sounds weird, but we did everything together. He taught me a lot of big lessons in my life, how to walk me through. How to stay tough, how not to,
how to be a man.
Yeah, 100%. He's a good example of a guy that always has something going on. He's never sitting around. He always makes sure that everything's okay. Make sure that he has everything under control, and that's something where I aspire to be super organized. I'm not the most organized person in the world, but that's something. Organization is one of the biggest keys in growing as an adult.
Oh,
I mean, I can't even tell you. Just trying to stay organized at work. Trying to stay organized at home
with your time,
trying to keep your vehicle organized, trying to keep your time organized. That's all. If you can keep yourself organized, you keep yourself on pace. That's all that really matters. I mean, you can get a lot done if you know where all your stuff's at, and you know where you got to be when you got to be there. Mm-hmm. That's something that I try to take from him. Definitely. My little brother also is following in those footsteps of having a chip on his shoulder. He gets that a little bit from me. He gets that a little bit from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But absolutely, back to what you're saying. Adoption has fueled the fire a little bit, just for the simple fact that we realistically, all of us weren't in a situation where our birth parents realistically wanted us to stay around, or they couldn't afford to keep us around and stuff like that. And that's always sat there in the back of my mind was something that, I just want to prove to my birth parents that they made the right decision.
Yeah.
They made the right decision of, instead of taking the easy route out, which most people do, they decided to put me up for adoption, and I ended up with a family that's made me who I am today. So I couldn't be more grateful for that.
Yeah. Now I know we've talked about it, and I mean, it's definitely shaped you into the person, is the family that's around you. There's no question. we were talking about we've discussed the talks that you've reached out to your biological mother, correct?
Yep.
Now, how was that process going through that and reaching back out to her?
See, I mean, we really haven't had a whole lot of communication. I did shoot her a message, and I really haven't had too much communication with her. I'm not sure if I'm really ready. I would like to probably meet her before I have kids. I think that would be something that's important. I want her to meet my wife. I want her to meet, me as a man today. Obviously she saw me as a little kid, but since then I've never seen her in person. And that's something, like I said, I'd really like to do before I have children, just so I could get some closure on, where I'm coming from.
No, yeah, I think it'd be big, and I think it'd be nice to have it too. I mean, and it's just, it would be awesome, and I think just great for her to see that she did make the right choice and gave you a better life. And what you're doing with that life now is pretty awesome. Like, about to take over Service Master, and have started from humble beginnings, and now is like a kick-ass member of society, bro. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Especially at such a young age, too.
Right.
I mean, it's not a lot of 22-year-olds that are out here doing big things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely.
So you don't have any social media? That's what it says on here?
No, man.
Yes.
I don't.
Like zero? You think zero?
I have Snapchat.
Okay.
And I don't know if I really consider that social media. It's kind of like a messaging app, I just like.
Alex is upset back here about the no social media.
I like
Snapchat accounts.
Yeah, I like bullshitting with everybody on Snapchat. I think it's fun to send you guys funny pictures and shit like that every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all that stuff, that's not something I like diving into. I think it's toxic.
Mm-hmm.
I do think it can be beneficial if you're trying to build a business.
Mm-hmm.
You can really market your company on social media. But it's just not something that I ever felt like I needed. Just for the simple fact that if I want to, number one, I don't really care if you're in Hawaii or wherever you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if if you're eating some fancy dinner somewhere. I don't care.
What Drake say it best? Pay all this money to go to Cabo just to take like pictures in Cabo and post about
There's
it.
a lot of people that live like that now, though.
It is.
That's their motivation.
I'm going to be honest. I think it's ridiculous.
It is.
It is ridiculous.
It is. It's absolutely absurd. You live for it now. Like everybody lives for to make a cool Instagram post.
It's ridiculous. You just want to.
You've never had it though, bro. Like maybe fourth grade or third grade, you might have. I think you had an Instagram
right when it first came out.
When we were all just like sending pictures to each other. Remember those days back in the Instagram days?
Grade.
I don't. It might not have been fourth grade. I forget.
Fourth
when
grade.
it was.
I think we just got a flat screen TV in our classroom.
Actually, now that I think about it, I'm way.
No, I mean around that time.
It was like probably sixth. No, it was probably like seventh or eighth.
Sixth, seventh grade.
Sixth, seventh, eighth. Yeah,
something like that.
Because that's when the iPods started coming out. Because I remember
first kids had those iPods.
Them grainy ass cameras that were on them.
Oh my gosh! You'd be taking like selfies and like pictures of your face. That's when Instagram was like cool. Instagram was basically Be Real back then.
Yeah, 100%.
If you think about it.
I mean, I just remember the early days, like showing up at the bus stop one morning, like after Christmas, and my friend has an iPod Touch, playing Doodle Jump. I'm like, I want one of those.
I'm like, Mom, why didn't Santa bring me this fucking iPod?
It was like a 2-year ordeal. Then everybody got them after that.
Literally.
And
there used to be a game. Oh man, what was it?
Temple Run?
The Temple Run was fun.
Temple Run was
a
the
good one.
shit.
Angry Birds. I was going to say.
I ran it up in the App Store. I was like, I need all the skins. Like, give me all the birds.
There was one where it was like motocross. Trials. You remember that game?
Oh, yeah. Where you'd go around on the track.
I love
that. That was a good one.
You'd go around on the track. Jetpack Joyride. Producer Alex with the key add-in.
Damn,
dude,
I feel like I want to buy. I feel like I want to try to see if I can buy one.
I have dude. I don't know if you probably have it at your house. I have 4 random iPods and old iPhones laying around at my house.
Honestly,
I feel like a lot of people out there do.
No, I've gotten rid of mine. Like sold them, traded them in.
You know what else has fallen under the radar? DSs.
Oh,
you remember how cool
around
DSs
the same
were?
time? That was a little before the iPods, I guess, or
DS,
maybe around the same time.
No, they were before. DSs were before, and then they had the DSi with the touchscreen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
the
cool.
DSi was the OG iPod.
The 3DS.
Steve Jobs stole that shit.
Yeah, he did.
No, I'm just kidding. I can't speak on
I
Steve Jobs' name. I don't know.
I remember that too, but yeah, we've really come a long way. But I mean, going back to the social media, it's kind of a trap. I mean, I didn't have social media either till I came to Westminster, basically my freshman year. Before that, I had like Snapchat, but barely even used that. Now it's my job is like social media, which is crazy to think about.
Tables have turned.
Like what I'm saying. I think like company social media. Yeah. I think that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably the best way in modern times to market, your work and your company. I think it's.
Oh yeah.
I think that's smart. But being personal on social media, I don't think there's a need for it. If I'm going to communicate with somebody, you can ask Alex. I'm not a big texting guy. I'm a big call guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm gonna talk to somebody, if I'm gonna communicate with somebody, I want to ask them in person. It's just so I can get a genuine reaction. I can get a genuine answer. That I just feel like that's huge. I feel like being able to actually talk to somebody is something that is being forgotten.
Yeah, it's fallen by the wayside.
Huge. I mean, like you said too, like when you're conversing in person, you can read a lot more like body language, and even if you're like telling a joke that might come across like crazy on text message versus in person, there's big differences. But I know even Alex and I have switched to like he sent me a voice memo one day, and then I was like, I'd really never really used the voice memo as much until then.
You are a big voice memo guy.
I love voice memos.
They're clutch.
It's like, dude, it's honestly crazy because I feel like I'm being lazy by not texting, but then I'm like,
yeah, but
you are giving a genuine voice memo, which is basically a voicemail without interrupting someone with a call.
Yeah, and I mean it's easy. If there's something important that was said, you can always go back and replay it. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like also I think no social media for you has been funny too, because even when we hang out with like friends and stuff, and you're always asking, hey, like what's going on, but it's cool to be able to not be trapped into like, hey, what is always going on, and being able to go and do stuff. Like you enjoy being outdoors, you enjoy hunting, you enjoy fishing. Like we were just fishing today. I haven't picked up my phone hardly at all today.
Yeah, it's just refreshing. It makes the day feel longer. I think people get trapped with that, like you were saying earlier. And they lay down on their bed, and they next thing they know, they've been scrolling for 3 hours, and you've wasted that time when you could be bettering yourself at something else.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
100%.
It goes back to the screen time, dude.
I think screen time can get out of control quick.
Over winter break, I think we were all talking. I was at like 5 hours on my screen. I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah. No, I do. My screen time is high because I watch podcasts when I'm at work. Sometimes I listen to podcasts and stuff like that when I'm sitting at my desk writing estimates or something like that. I think obviously we're sitting on one right now, but I think that wave is fantastic. I mean, there's so many different things you can learn about with podcasts. You can get into anything. They have them about everything now.
Right.
And if you're really interested in something, you can really find out about it just from hearing people talk about it. And I think that's the best way to learn.
Oh yeah,
100%.
What do you think would happen if we got rid of social media and the internet in general? Like we went back to like 2004, 2005 era.
All this bullshit that's going on right now with this big woke society that we have right now would not be present. Everyone would be happier. Everybody would be happier. Everyone would communicate more via talking to each other. Which would be massive, and there wouldn't be this need to be over materialistic. Like people see, you see all these trends on social media, and people try to get trendy, and they waste all their money on shit that don't even matter.
Exactly. Yeah, I go back to the happiness thing and like the woke culture. It's crazy when you think about people getting canceled and people doing this, and like over a mass group of people that can go on there and not have a face. You know, like behind the eyes of social media, you could be faceless, and you can also be not the one that presents the idea, but like the one that follows it. Like groups can group up on it, and I think that's what we're seeing. Like a lot of stuff happen today. I mean, it seems like there's like a pushback to a lot of things too, as well. Like not to get too into it, but it's like crazy. It's just like a huge part of our generation, and I think a lot of our generation's now at the point like, who cares? Like, why is this such a big deal?
Mm-hmm.
And
people are fed up.
I mean, hopefully what we see in the next 15, 20 years when people start really diving into having kids, and stuff like that. Hopefully it changes around to the point where, kids can be raised without having to feel pressure to have social media. That's we were all raised without social media until we got to a certain age.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And now, you get these young kids and that's all they know. Mm-hmm. That's all they know is social media. That's all they've ever been taught is how to interact on social media. It's all about liking and commenting and all that shit. That's not how you learn how to be a good person. It's not how you learn how to be a real person. You don't learn valuable lessons in life on social media, and I think that's just something that should be taken away.
Yeah. I think like you said, I think majority of
society...
get
another log on here. Keep going.
Oh yeah, no worries. I think a large majority of society would be exponentially happier because I think one of the biggest issues, if you look at any of the issues we have going on in society right now, it's almost all comes back to social media.
Oh, there's no question about it. Everything
stuff that goes trending or
everything that's going wrong with our society is in some way a result of social media.
Mm-hmm. It all comes back to that.
Like that was like the hysteria with even COVID, dude. I remember.
Yeah. COVID. I think that's a good one. COVID would not have been like that.
Think about how many people got scared because of social media. And realistically, there's more people that get killed by the flu every year.
Yeah. It comes back to social media, too, with, like, fake news and, like, fake stuff can go viral before it's actually proven to be true. And then by the time that happens, it's game over anyway because...
everyone's already subscribed to it.
Everybody's already subscribed to it, and the damage is done. So it's like... there's a lot of, there are some small positives. There are a lot of positives to it, like you said, with like businesses and everything. But I think in general, life for a lot of people would be better without excess electronics and social media and like face-to-face interactions. And all that.
Everything will be a lot more simple. That's just where it comes down to. I don't think necessarily get away with technology because I think technology is really helpful in a lot of different areas. But I think things you can be able to do on technology should be a little bit more limited than it is right now.
I think you're seeing that with TikTok too.
Pushback.
There's a lot of pushback there, and I think even like Rogan talked about it on his is the data collection of it, and you have all these little kids that are on it, and they're collecting data. And I saw the press conference. The guy was being super backward about it, not answering anything, deflecting everything as like the CEO, which was, I think, very telling in itself. Mm-hmm. Do you think we talked about how like growing up we didn't have it? I like go back and I think, do you think we have a point in our lives where we start really living life past college and past high school and start developing families where you're just like, why am I even posting on this anymore?
I genuinely do think that. I think there'll be a phase where we go through where it'll just become the cool thing is to not be on social media.
I agree.
But what has to happen is that has to be enforced to the next generation as well. Because if that's not brought to be, then there's gonna we're gonna get stuck in the same rut. It's gonna be a repeating cycle of people genuinely, it's very easy to be fake over social media. Mm-hmm. People can hide a lot of things behind filters, behind different kind of posts and stuff like that.
I actually, speaking of filters, did you see this where they're making it in I'm not positive which country it was. Now I'm thinking about it, but they made them explicitly say that whenever you use a filter, you have to say that you're using a filter. Do you remember what country that was, Josh?
I don't know if I saw that.
I think I sent it.
You might have sent it to me.
I might have sent it to you. I forget. But I think it's a good idea because I think girls feel obviously pressured from it as well. I mean, just looking at it, it's
almost every picture you see is filtered in some way. I mean,
100%. I would be lying if I said I didn't do it on some of mine.
I mean, I do it all the time for my stuff.
That's back to the fact that most of it's fake, and that's why I don't have it. I I'd like everything to be genuine in my life. I don't want to be dealing with something that's always a facade. And I'm more than thrilled not to have it. I'm happy I didn't get caught into that loop.
You're cool where you're at.
A bullet.
Do you ever look back at it and you never feel out of place without having it then?
No, I'm so happy. I'm so happy that I'd never indulge myself in it, because I have, realistically, I probably have 3 more hours in a day of productivity more than
most people
have.
Yeah.
It's time to better myself.
I agree.
Facts. Do you think, in general, is humanity headed in the right or wrong direction?
Absolutely in the wrong direction.
I would agree with that statement.
It's not even close. We're on almost a 90-degree fall off here. I think things are going to get a lot tougher here within the next 10 years. I think you're probably going to see another depression-esque era here. Our economy's going to crash, especially if we don't get the right person in office.
Yeah, it seems like it's looming. Yeah,
it seems inevitable at this point that, and I think most people would agree. It doesn't matter what side of the line you're on. I think most people would agree that we're not going in the right direction with a lot of things here.
Yeah, it seems like everything we're doing is very counterintuitive to what we've done in the past that's worked. Then you're just like, man, what? You know what I mean?
I mean, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I mean, that's as simple as that. And we got away from that, and everyone's trying to do new things now, and it's just creating chaos.
What do you think's the first step in the right direction?
Well, I don't know if this is going to answer your question or not, but going off of what he said too, I think for the large part of the time that we've been alive had been kind of the easy times in retrospect of the whole history of the U.S. or the world even. And I think sometimes people think we have it real bad right now, and it's this is nothing.
Yeah, compared to what other people are dealing with.
I think on the contrary, I think sometimes you need a correction. People need to see the bad to appreciate the good times, kind of reset everything. So what he said, I think we're kind of due for some tough, harder times in the future.
Right. It's been kind of loading up. It seems
I think a lot of things in society. I think it's all cycle. Tough people create easy times. Easy times create weak people. Weak people create tough times.
Yep.
And that's really the whole cycle, and it's tried and true from generation to generation to generation. So it's going to be our responsibility to raise that next tough generation, because we are definitely not in that generation right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it feels like we're right in the thick of it. We're kind of caught between two places, which is very odd, I think, with our generation, where we talked about how we've had the cell phone use, how we've right over there, Alex. I saw you flinch. It's just firewood.
We're probably good on the picks.
Yeah, we didn't put no fireworks in there this time. Maybe another night.
Shout out Reese.
Yeah, shout out Reese. Shout out Alex, our producer.
Shout out Alex. He's taking the picks today, helping us out behind the scenes.
He really is. You got a very nice buck. I want to talk about hunting this past year. That was this past year, right? That you got a nice one.
Yeah, he was okay. I mean, hunting is definitely my number one hobby. I completely fell in love with it after high school, and I hunted growing up a little bit, Obviously, playing sports. You know, me and Alex played sports through high school together. And you really don't have a whole lot of time because obviously I played basketball and football, so you go, you know, in the fall.
And tennis for 2 days. Don't forget about that, bro.
And tennis for 2 days.
Listen, this is actually a great story. We go from basketball, like we finished our senior night, we went to tennis practice. So I told B, I was like, dude, let's try and make the tennis team. I played tennis like a little bit, and we just thought we could just out athletic everybody, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that was not the case. It was challenging, right? So a lot of English on the ball, a lot of ways we didn't know to return it a couple times. But then the funny part was we just got done with basketball, so we were like, all right, we're gonna go to tennis, hit the ball around, chase it around a little bit. We get there and we're hitting the balls back and forth, and I don't know if you remember this, but the coach, we were like walking back and forth, and we've never walked in anything, mind you, but we thought tennis, it's chill, like we're just gonna hit the balls, serve a little bit. He goes, all right, everybody start running around the track. We had a couple people not running to the other side. And I'm like, yo, dude, he definitely is because of us. And, like, we started doing laps around, like, 8 courts at Bethel. And I'm like, really? B, there's no way, dude. There's no way we're making this.
We said, we're done. The worst part, though, we went to Dick's. I bought a racket. I bought, like, a Raphael Nadal headband and everything.
We got the headbands.
Dude, I was all ready to go. I had wristbands and all that shit. And ended up being probably one of the worst tennis players in history.
You have good power. Good
power, but the ball just went straight into the net or the ground every time.
Low key, it's kind of harder than it looks.
It's
very
way harder.
It's
the way
a great
they actually
game.
play, where you have to like hit it with that like upward, like get that spin on it.
Respect to anybody who plays
Crazy.
tennis, because that is not an easy sport.
You have to be very agile and gifted in the side-to-side department. And your reaction and IQ speed is crazy. Dude, those guys are serving the ball at the pro level at like 131 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy.
That would go past me and I wouldn't even move.
I just wanted to like fucking hit a homer off it like baseball. So I was always trying to restrict myself from doing that. But we actually played in gym class. I think it was like baseball, but with tennis rackets, and that was fucking fun.
Oh, yeah.
That is incredible. I'm surprised they let you do that. You'd take someone's head off.
Honestly, we had a good time in gym class in like 1st through 4th grade.
That's
crazy.
Blast.
That is incredible.
We had good gym class in high school. We played like hockey.
I think we got spoiled.
It got real physical.
Oh, I
and
bet.
Stuff like that. It was we played pickleball, which doesn't sound fun, but
it gets intense.
Super fun.
When you go to a bigger school, I think your classes and your experiences are just
vastly different than a small school.
100%.
Yeah. Will you ever play big ball volleyball?
No.
Yeah,
that was like a Seneca thing.
Ball. Yeah, you played it with you.
With
ever have tricks?
No, with like the big ass yoga ball.
No, I never played that. We used to
play
with.
Played it before,
no, we played with the big red ball that was like weighted. We used to do it for football.
Yeah.
Yeah, like remember the videos of James Harrison throwing the medicine balls? Our coach was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
He made us do that with like the same stuff James Harrison was doing. Everybody was like, "Oh!" Like
that's awesome.
That dude was nuts.
We could go. I think we could go for days talking about
He's crazy.
that experience.
Gym class.
Do you ever? We talk about it a lot. Back to like the high school days, but it seems like whenever we catch up, we always get like a shot of it, but we keep moving, and it's just cool to see everybody kind of growing and doing their own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone that we remain close with is becoming, it's becoming their own person now. Becoming, it's crazy to see the path that everyone took, because going back, 4 or 5 years, I couldn't even imagine, all of us doing what we're doing right now. It's crazy how that works. Life comes full circle, and that's never expect anything, because most of the time that's not what you're getting.
Literally, I think once high school graduates, man, it's an unreal feeling, and I think people try to prepare you for it, but there's no easy way to say it. Like, everybody goes and does their own thing.
Yeah. Wait till you graduate college.
Right. Exactly, dude. At this point, it's just
way different. But I think it is, like you said, it's cool to see everybody that you knew in high school, the different paths. Everybody went completely different directions. And oftentimes, like, I mean, nobody would have thought I'd be doing what I'm doing. And nobody would have thought my friend Spencer would be flying planes in Montana. Like,
That's awesome.
That is very cool.
It's just stuff sometimes you never thought was possible, I guess, too, in high school. Like, we were pretty naive. Like, oh, I could never do that.
Yeah.
But it becomes a reality real quick.
Once you're out, reality hits, and you're like, I can actually, like, once you're done with college, especially, but even if you're done with high school and if you don't go to college, like, that's when you're like, oh, I could literally do whatever I want.
Reality hit very quick.
There's no, like, exact rule on what you can do, and that's, like, I think you don't understand that until you're done.
Oh, 100%. Reality hit you pretty quick, man.
Yeah, dude. Before I even knew it, it hit me. I mean,
now you're looking around at houses.
Yes, we are. We're excited, and
take me through that, man, because these past couple of weeks, man, have been
crazy, man.
This is an all around just insane experience. I mean, I know Josh, like we've
but I'm just looking for fun, you know.
Yeah, it's
we're looking. Me and my wife Eva are looking for a place where, people always say, buy a starter home and stuff like that, but that's bullshit. I'm not buying a starter home. I want to buy a home that, at this young of an age, that I can live in for the next 60 years. However long I live, I want to be able to live there. I want to be able to pass that house down to my kids. Mm-hmm. So that's priority to me. There's no way I'm going to jump into something, even if it's going to be financially steep. Right now, I want to get into something I know I want to live in for the rest of my life. And we've been looking around. A couple houses are really catching our eye, and we're trying to make things work. And we're actually going to look at 2 tomorrow, and we're real excited.
I feel like every big moment of your life that has happened thus far, we have had a pretty fun night the night before. Dude, this is story time right now.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so before Brandon got engaged, it's coming out. It's coming out. The night before he gets engaged, we're hanging out at my house and
trying to take the nerves off.
Trying to ease some nerves, and he comes over, and we're just casually drinking some beers at first, and we're talking about it, and like, hey man, are you nervous? How was it asking her father? And he told me that story was pretty funny in itself.
So I'll tell that real quick, and then get back into get back into the story after. So I told her parents that I wanted to talk to them, and they had a pretty good idea. At that point, we were dating for like 5 years. I was working full time. She was still in college. That wasn't when she was in college and we were engaged. That was not the easiest deal, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Mm-hmm. But I told them I wanted to come see them, and I was playing poker at my buddy Swaney's house, and we were drinking a little bit or whatever, and she texted me and she was like, "Are you still coming over?" And I was like, "Oh shit, I totally forgot." So my buddy Alex Kokevich, he drove me over there to her parents' house, and I jumped out, and they're waiting for me at the front door, and I was like, "Oh, here we go. It's game time now." They told me to come down and sit down on the couch, and I asked, if I could have her hand in marriage, and I'd protect her, and make sure she was always safe and make sure she was always loved. And her dad goes, "What?" And I said, "Oh shit." He said, "No, I'm just joking, of course." I said, "Thank you very much, sir." And I walked out with my knees shaking all the way out the door.
That's an unreal play on his part, though. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, he was waiting for that one, I think, for a while. I think he had that one planned.
He's loading
for a
up.
long time, yep.
He definitely ran it by her, too, Miss Rosemeyer, and was just like, yeah, it's going to be funny.
100%.
But back to the night before you get engaged, and we're just casually drinking beers, and my sister, I think, comes home and like just brings this unreal energy into the room. I think that's exactly what it was. She was like, B's getting engaged tomorrow. Like, we're just having a blast, and it's just us three, man. And I think there's like something to be said with having like a core group of like friends that you could just go and do shit like that, man. And like shit we're doing right now, like exactly it. And we're we're hanging out, and next thing you know, the bottle of bourbon gets brought out. And it was pretty good.
And we just started pounding them.
So good that Brandon ended up sleeping on my deck that night.
On the deck?
Before getting engaged at 9 a.m. the next morning.
Oh.
No, not 9. What was it, like 11 or 12?
I don't remember.
I think it was like 11 or 12.
That day was a blur.
I had to go to a detail.
He pissed me off. He pissed me off that day.
He's calling me like 8 or 9 times.
So I had
whole morning.
I had all the dudes that are close with us. I had them all there to watch it and participate in it, I wanted to have all the people around me that have showed me support through my life to be there, obviously, to see that. Like Alex said, I mean, he's known Eve for a long time. We've all become family, and he was, was supposed to ask her at like 11 o'clock or something like that, and it's like 10:45.
It's 10:45, dude. So I get to this detail. I get out of the car. I'm like walking back and forth. The sun starts to pick up. I'm like, oh, here comes the heat. I walk out to the truck, open up the door. I throw up, dude. I never told you. I don't think I ever told you this. Dude, I threw up, and I went, oh, man. And then I look at my phone, and Julia texts me, where are you? And I'm like, oh, man, Brandon's getting engaged. I forgot. And, I didn't forget, but, I knew it was that day. But I'm like, where did the time go? So I, crank it out, dude. I crank it out in, 3 hours, whatnot. I'm, running back, and B's like, where the fuck were you? I'm like, dude, I was here the whole time. What do you mean? And he's like, because he's all stressed out. And you're like, dude, walk us through whatever you got down on one knee. I feel like that's a exhilarating feeling.
The whole plan was here. I bought her ring and everything. Saved up my money, bought her a nice ring, and I had this whole plan. Our second date, we went to a place called Peters Lake, and this is real corny. So get ready, guys. There's a big wooden fence. You walk down this trail, you get to a wooden fence that's around this lake, and we carved our names into there on our second date, and it's lasted for all these years, for 5 years, and we always come back and visit that. So that's kind of been our spot that I really hold as a one of the most important places in my whole entire life, and I had this whole thing planned, where you round this bend by this wooden fence I'm talking about, and they were all waiting there in the bushes, just looking, waiting for her to come down. So she, her friend Jess, her best friend Jess, I asked her to act like she had lost her keys while she was jogging there, because there's a jogging trail that goes around this lake, right? And so Jess says, okay, that sounds good. She sold it, right? She's calling Eve. She's fake crying on the phone. It's perfect. Eve's in the middle of taking a test in college. She's an hour into this test, and I'm waiting there. It was I'm waiting for 2 hours. I'm like, please get done with this test. So she finally gets done. I told her I was doing something else. I don't even remember what I told her. It was kind of a blur. But she comes down, and Jess is acting like she lost her keys. And I'm waiting there by this fence where we have our names carved in. And as soon as I saw her, I didn't see anything. Pitch black. It just blacked out, right? I'm waiting there, and she comes up, and I'm giving her my little speech. I couldn't tell you what I said. Like I said, it was just diarrhea of the mouth. I didn't even know what I said. I was so nervous. I thought I was going to drop the ring in the water. It was a big nightmare. But started crying like a little baby. And she said yes, and then they all came running down the trail to congratulate us, and we took a bunch of awesome pictures that we still have, and that forever will be one of the greatest memories of my life for sure.
That's awesome.
It's an incredible
That's the way
story.
to do it.
That's incredible. I think we take a route back to the deeper questions now of where do you see yourself and you guys in 10 years now?
We will have a couple kids by then, I'm sure. I'd see us, living, like I said, in this forever house that we're kind of looking for right now. both pretty comfortable with our jobs. I'd like to still be in shape.
In shape.
I still like to be in shape.
That's a good adage. I think a lot of people get lost in that.
I feel like after that 25, 26 year, people just stop caring a little bit, and I think that's something that I hold near and dear, is always staying in at least good enough shape where I don't feel like where I'm being lazy.
I think a lot of people too can get to that point where they're just life is good right now. I'm doing well.
And then they give up.
I think.
Yeah, and you stop working out. You stop working out hard.
They lose that motivation.
Comfort absolutely kills you.
Yep.
In every single aspect of life, you're not supposed to be comfortable. That's not how you become successful. Nobody that was ever that was, you see in the history books was ever comfortable with anything that they did. That's where that comes down to. I mean, I think that being uncomfortable is really what makes you different, makes you stand out from other people.
Going back to Julius Caesar, wow, these little kids are going wild out here. Dude, my neighbors, they get down. They'll play mini hoops that we did back in the old days, man. It's cool. New Wilmington kids are awesome, bro. They get out, they play, they have fun. You're talking about the history books. Imagine back in Julius Caesar's day when he was just like, I'm going to go conquer this territory. I'm going to go conquer what? And I'm going to do it.
He did
it. I mean, could you imagine that? And you never have done stuff like that before in your life. And those dudes were just so stone cold.
Crazy.
Where you just conquer everything.
Real quick, Alex going to take a picture of us.
Oh, word.
Bet.
Thanks, Alex.
Appreciate it.
Producer. There you go.
Well, there you go.
I haven't had my bird visitors back. I think it's time for a call.
We're gonna have to get the track going.
yeah, we'll get the sound going. I've recently got into birding. MVP podcast shout out here.
Huge bird guy. Nice bird. You probably can see it on the video this time, the birdhouse in the back.
You definitely
can see it earlier.
I think it goes back to our nature podcast, man.
The first nature one was what? Last episode.
Yeah. And I think it stems back to being out and enjoying the things that life has to offer you, and that's why we're doing it outside.
Yeah.
And I
think what stemmed this too for us doing it outside was both of us, we talked about, I think on the podcast one time, was how we both feel at peace out in the woods or outside, versus being I'm in downtown a lot and I'm never I don't know. It's
stressful,
nice, but it's just I don't have a huge desire to live down there.
It's always go.
Yeah.
And if I'm in a there's really no urgency.
Mm-hmm.
There's urgency in every single aspect of your life. So I believe when you step out into some nature, you kind of lose track of time.
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of time to think to yourself, and you're breathing fresh air, and you're really, I'm really in my element, being outside for sure.
I think that's why you're looking for a place with some land too right now.
Yeah, there's no question about it. That's number one. That's my number one priority in a house. I don't even want to look at any that don't have any land on them.
Yeah,
you get to come back and decompress a little bit too, because
just get away.
Our lives can be crazy.
Yeah, 100%. They're real crazy.
I got some before it starts getting kind of dark out here. I don't know. The camera looks like it's picking us up pretty well, though.
Oh, it's probably gonna be fire. I'm excited. To look
fire, no pun intended.
No
actually, pun intended. Pun intended.
I'm excited.
What is 22-year-old Brandon Greco want to say to 10-year-old Brandon Greco?
That's a good one.
Stop being so scared of everything. I grew up being scared. Had a terrible stutter as a young dude. I had no confidence. Scared of the world, right? Scared of my own shadow. And, something that goes back to being uncomfortable. I forced myself to be uncomfortable, and that definitely brought me out of my shell. started to craft myself into the person that I wanted to be slowly, and I gained all the confidence that I needed in order to become the person I am today. 100%.
I love it. Now you're doing podcasts, bro. Look at that.
See, that's wild. Out of nowhere, I would have never been able to do this as a young kid. I was, like I said, scared of everything. Didn't like talking to people that I didn't know.
That's a hard thing to get over as a kid.
Yeah.
Scared me. I couldn't, I got hung up on every single word. And that that's awkward. You start rambling on and you can't get a word out of your mouth and people look at you like you're an alien or something. So that's something that always pissed me off. And that's always added a little bit of fuel to the fire as well. With becoming the person I want to be.
I love it.
Love that.
Any final thoughts, Josh? As we're getting a little bit darker out here. I'm going to check when the sunset is.
We covered Oh, wait, I got some more, actually.
Yeah, we had some Instagram questions, didn't we?
Well, I just had I put some news articles on the back here. One of the things we could touch on is the AI shit.
Yeah, we were talking about that. I totally forgot about that.
Wow, and one of the big stories was Elon Musk came out and cautioned that the technology could have the potential of civilization destruction if left unchecked.
Can you get us another beers, brother?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Michelob.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex, grab me a Miller Lite, please. Thank you.
What, you don't like Michelobs?
I'm feeling a Miller Lite, man.
You don't don't like them advertising Canelo Alvarez right now? Like a Bud Light?
I think Canelo Alvarez is a badass.
No, I'm joking. I was making a Bud Light joke.
Bud Light.
Yeah. You gonna have another Bud Light ever?
Oh, no chance.
Yeah, they burned that bridge.
No chance. No chance.
Honestly, Bud Light is terrible.
Yeah, it's probably my least favorite beer on top of that, so it just gives me even more of a reason not to ever drink one again.
Back into the AI question, though, I completely was just
Sky
beer
sweet.
thought.
No, you're good. But basically, he cautioned that the AI could potentially destroy society if left unchecked. Last month, he joined more than 1,000 experts in signing an open letter advocating for a 6-month pause in the development of advanced AI systems. What do you guys know about AI?
It's a little scary. I don't really know a whole lot about it. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I don't have no social media, so I don't really get to dive into AI too much. But from what I understand, it's ultra realistic, which is terrifying. They can make people say shit that they never said before, and make people believe it. Damn.
Hate to see it. Yeah, no, I think one of the biggest threats with it is going to be the deep fake videos and photos that people can do, or audio, as we're finding out.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Because it could basically generate a full-blown video of like the president or something saying something that he never actually said, and like we talked about earlier with social media, you put it out there, it goes viral before anyone can say anything, and then the damage is done at that point.
I mean, and we're only in the beginning phases of this AI too. I mean, just imagine what it's going to look like in 10 years. You won't be able to tell the difference, and that's terrifying.
It's so new still, and then you get into the whole aspect of like music.
Alex, hop in.
Oh, a little beer delivery. I appreciate it.
I gotta look out for my cousin.
Yeah. But like what we're seeing with music too, there's that Drake song. Well, it's not actually a Drake song; it's an AI song. And
I'm gonna be honest, it's not him. It might be one of my favorite songs by Drake.
It's kind of good. It's kind of good.
It was honestly fire.
Yeah.
It is actually scary to me.
How well they copy his flow, how well his voice is translated. It's ridiculous.
Even The Weeknd at the end, we didn't get to that part, but The Weeknd sounded pretty good.
Play
too.
The Weeknd. Give
Pull it up right. Oh yeah.
Shoot you.
I came in with my ex like Celine or the flex. Bumping Justin Bieber, the fever and left. She know what she need, or she blessed.
Fire.
It is. I'm curious to hear the Weeknd part now.
Here, let me fast forward.
That is, to get rapping is one thing, but to getting singing and hitting melodies
perfectly on pitch and everything like that, that's crazy.
And it's still early. So, like, you're going to have people making songs in their bedroom that are just basically better than the artist can actually produce.
What do you
even do at that point? How can you
stop that? Yeah, how do you stop that from happening?
That's why I think you see some of the pushback from Elon is like, I mean, that's just the music, like the entertainment factor. But like, there's so many variables out there, so many things that it could completely disrupt and cause a lot of problems with. But it could also be really useful too.
It can be, but like, who do we trust to run that though?
I don't trust anybody anymore.
There's nobody. There's nobody that.
I think if Elon Musk is telling me not to do it, and
he might be the only dude I trust to run it.
I trust him,
exactly.
Yeah.
I would trust him, and he's saying you need to stop. Like,
he
this
said,
needs
no,
to
we got to stop.
Like, this has to stop. If that guy's saying this has to stop, we have a problem. We have a problem, folks.
I want to be honest. If he could run for president, which he can't because he's from South Africa, right?
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yep.
If he could run for president, he would 100% have my vote.
He would also have my vote, which is crazy. The dude's funny. He's smart. He's like a decent communicator.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of his morals are aligned with things that I believe in.
I mean, even you look at his companies. He's
wildly successful.
Yeah, while richest man in the world, his companies are all to make humanity a better place.
Yeah, and people will shit on him anyway, but
we'll do any chance to shit on him. I mean, you got to take
now.
Yeah. Oh, especially now with Twitter.
I mean, he pretty much bought Twitter as a joke.
He literally did. It was a meme. He was just like, "I'm coming in here with a kitchen sink." And
he bought it as a joke, but then he also bought it to prove that they were kind of censoring what was going out there.
They were, and that in itself was insane.
Yeah, the whole free speech thing.
Imagine being able to do that, where you could just say, well, I'm going to buy Twitter today.
Cash.
No problems.
What's crazy is the dude jacked it up like $9 billion, too, whenever he said it. And he was just like, whatever.
Yeah, he said, all right.
He salt baited. He was like letting it rain on it.
The other big story that was AI had here said that this doctor believes humans will be able to live on their lives digitally by the end of this year through the ability to upload their conscious mind onto a computer. So it's pretty wild.
He thinks that you can upload your mind.
Your conscious mind.
That's crazy.
It says if people have enough video and voice recordings of their loved ones, there is a 100% chance of their relatives living with you forever. This would be possible with transcript data, voice synthesis, and video models of a person, which would be fed into an AI system. It would then create an avatar that looks and acts like the person being replicated. So it wouldn't actually be the person, but it would be an AI version of the person.
I don't want that.
That would be so close
scary
to the original. I mean, we just saw the Drake stuff. Like, that you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
That's crazy.
And
so
you're subconsciously like an avatar with...
Yeah, basically it would take like you, Alex Mullen, voice recordings of you, photos, videos. I don't know how they would get like your interests and like things that go on in your mind, but it would basically make a digital version of you that thinks and acts on its own. And then your relatives after your past could have it and be like, "Hey, Alex."
Wow. I don't think that's good. I don't think it's
scary, dude.
I don't think it's good because I think people need closure in their lives.
Yeah.
That's what makes life so precious.
It would probably end up being another thing of like social media where it just ends up leading to more unhappiness and controversy.
Yeah.
Or misuse.
Absolutely.
I saw Mike Hibman put out an interesting post on the MVP Instagram of he believes that AI will generate countless more jobs like the internet did.
But it'll take jobs too.
Exactly. I would love to think of it optimistically, but I think you have to like be able to see that in terms of technology. But for like being able to see that technology speaking and being able to think of ways that this would generate more jobs and I guess maybe more managerial roles for people. But like you said, I think it's going to take a large percentage of what people do.
It's still just so early. It's like it's like 2000 of the internet. It's like 2000 of AI right now where it's so early.
I mean, look at where we're at with the internet right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just imagine with the technology that we have now, imagine what 5 years looks like.
Yeah. It's insane.
I think the advancement on this AI in ChatGPT is going to be absurd. I sent my mom this. I forgot to tell you this. I did a, not going to say anything actually school-wise, but may or may not have used it for school. And I said, hey, Mom, have you ever tried to do this in terms of making like a plan or teaching like a specific curriculum? And she was like, I know I haven't, but she like asked one of her colleagues about it, and she's like, yeah, I use it every day and bounce my ideas like from that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's great in terms of the use that it might give you an idea that you haven't thought of previously.
Yeah.
And then you can get creative with it.
But I feel like, you know, it's really
Have
satisfying.
you used it? Have you used it yet?
I don't even know what it is.
I know. I'm not shocked that you don't, which
It's
is cool.
wild.
You need to use it though, dude. It's like Google. Imagine Google, but instantaneous answers where you don't click on any links.
It basically talks back to you, but like with such a high level of intelligence, it's
scary,
crazy.
I could say, give me a sales pitch to somebody why they should use Service Master services. And it is fucking convincing.
It would pitch it. Like, I could pull it up right. I don't have Wi-Fi, I don't think.
I might be able to. Here,
But
wait. Let
you
me
could
let me
literally
search it
type
up.
that in about Service Master, and it would spit it out.
I'll do it right now.
That's crazy.
Here, wait.
That's
I'm pulling it up.
Is there? You have the app? Is there an app?
They are making an app for it now.
Okay.
I've seen multiple advertisements that are suggesting that they're going to go with a mobile app. Would that be subscription based? I'm not sure. If they did do it subscription based and made it like a Chegg, they'd make oogles of money. But this dude just sent his
Sure they
company. He
will,
just
but-
sold his company to Bill Gates for like $4 trillion.
Is ChatGPT a Google run company?
No.
No.
It's called like OpenAI. It's like it's a Silicon Valley company.
Okay.
But Google's developing their own version of it, as well as Microsoft, as well as Elon Musk is starting his own. They're all like competing against each other now,
That's
just
crazy.
like everything else.
Elon Musk starting his own.
Yeah, I just read it actually today. It's
way.
called X.AI, I think is what it's
He
gonna be
is.
called.
That dude is a jack of all trades.
Literally.
He can do everything.
Have you ever like looked into like some of his plans with SpaceX about colonizing Mars?
Not.
Everything.
I never looked into them
Insane.
specifically, but I listened to a couple podcasts where he was talking about the colonization of it. But
He went in depth enough that like his theory was that if you detonated nuclear bombs on the two poles of Mars, it would cause some sort of reaction in the atmosphere that would then enable it to be like Earth and heat up.
That is crazy.
So it's a wild
What?
theory, but like he's like, I forget exactly how it works.
That sounds like a movie.
it sounds like an evil master plan. I'm not going
I
to
might
lie
have
right
to
now.
pull that up because it was
It's like
pretty wild.
It's like Dr. Evil. I'm going to take over Mars and blow it up with nukes.
Elon
Like
Musk.
that's some Dr. Evil shit.
Nuclear.
Tell me that doesn't sound like it would be an Austin Powers movie.
Oh, it's
And like
100%.
And like
something.
Dr. Evil's like, we're going to the future. Why blow up
All
Mars?
right, hold on, I got it. It says it could require at least 10,000 nuclear missiles.
Oh my lord.
It would encompass most of the world's existing supply of nuclear weapons. Where's the results?
What is a nuke? Is it like uranium?
Something
what
like
it is?
that.
Oh, I mean, it's whatever's in a nuclear reactor at its
I think
core.
it's uranium.
I think, yeah. I don't know what the product is, but very explosive.
Absolutely.
How about that? I'm not gonna lie. When that shit was all going down with Russia and still is, kind of scary.
What? Russia?
And the threat of Putin just going,
I mean,
I'm
honestly, I
losing.
feel like that's still early stages of that war.
which is scary, dude.
I mean,
It's
that-
been going on for what,
A
2
year.
years? A year now?
Probably a year.
Year
I,
now?
I bet you won't see the end of that for the next 5 years.
And the scary part is like everybody was thinking he's sick and who cares, he's gonna drop it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He doesn't care. All right, I'm on ChatGPT now. Give me a pitch for.
We got to think of something good to ask it. It's like,
Did you see where it tried to go? Have you heard people taking its boundaries off and it goes God mode?
and it goes like wild.
Yeah, no thanks. Don't put that on.
What is it?
Made me a roulette system one time.
It made you a roulette system.
Yeah.
Really?
That's wild.
I saw people that were using it for like the stock
It was
market.
funny. It was like the first answer it gave me was, I do not want to promote gambling, so I'm not going to give you a response. Well, then I reported the problem and said, and they gave me a prompt. They asked like a couple questions, and one of them was like, is this not the answer you're looking for? So I clicked it, and then they gave me a system.
Really?
That's nuts.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You went in, reported that it was a problem.
It was not the answer I was looking for.
Okay.
And they gave me a system.
Wow.
Said,
So if you go
promote gambling and risk is involved, but here's the system you can play.
here, watch.
Huh.
I'll give you an example. Give me a pitch for Service Master.
What do you mean? Give me? That's what you're putting in there.
Yeah, give me a sales pitch for Service Master.
Oh, that's what you're gonna ask for, sir.
For Service
You
Master
might have to
Services.
say what Service Master Services is.
Dude,
It might know it though.
Dude, it does.
It
That-
does.
I put in for Jared just to see like the one.
Nolak?
I said, give me a sales pitch for Nolak.
No way.
Dude,
'Cause-
it's insane.
Also, some background on it. So it basically took a snapshot of the internet in like 2021, and so it has anything that was on the internet.
Look how much
Holy
it look
shit.
how much it posts up.
Start reading.
Listen, sure. Here's a sales pitch for Service Master Services. Are you looking for a reliable and trusted company to take care of your cleaning and restoration needs? Look Look no further than Service Master Services. With over 65 years of experience in the industry, we are experts in providing top-notch residential and commercial cleaning and restoration services. Our team of trained professionals uses the latest equipment and techniques to tackle even the toughest cleaning and restoration jobs. From carpet cleaning and tile and grout cleaning to water damage restoration and fire damage restorations, we've got you covered. And then it proceeds with two other paragraphs.
That is
It's insane.
crazy.
Tell me that's not spot on.
How that's it's what I explained.
Yeah,
But better.
It's spot on. Here, wait.
We got to think of something else to ask it.
Did you try one for Orchard 8 Media?
Try it. I haven't tried it. I don't know if it was around yet in time.
Sales pitch for Orchard 8 Media.
That'd be wild.
I saw people trying to go God mode though on this thing, and it's kind of crazy.
How does this work? Is it like tied in with? How is it? How does it?
Dude,
Did it?
oh my lord, oh my lord!
No way.
Are you tired of struggling to grow your business online? Do you want to increase your online presence, attract more customers, and drive more sales? Then you need Orchard 8 Media. We are a full service. I mean, it's kind of. We are a full service digital marketing agency that specializes in helping businesses like yours succeed online. Our team of experts has years of experience in developing and executing digital marketing strategies. This might be going off something else, to be honest with you, but I mean,
still, the fact
it's
that
pretty fucking solid.
What about AM auto detailing?
Let's see. They'll probably give me something because someone's out there with AM auto detailing for sure. Give me a sales pitch.
It's crazy how it responds so quick. Doesn't
It's
even have to
insane.
think.
Full
Doesn't
answer.
even think about it.
Well, I'm pretty sure it works based off of scanning the internet,
Yeah.
and it goes through like this
Isn't that crazy
unreal
how
process.
How fast it scans the internet, though.
Well, no. So my understanding.
Yeah, here's a
Hold
sales
on.
pitch for AM Auto Detailing. Are you looking to restore your vehicle to its former glory? Do you want to give your car the attention it deserves and make it shine like a new again? Then look no further than AM Auto Detailing. That's just the first paragraph.
That is wild.
So that's what you could literally write descriptions for like websites or anything you're doing that you just don't want to feel like doing. You just type in a prompt and
Well, I saw people are going in there and just using it for coding, and they're going in there and throwing code in.
It'll code for like computer projects and stuff. It's crazy.
You were very into coding, Josh.
Well, I started as computer science here at Westminster and was all right at it, but wasn't really passionate about it at all, and then found the photography niche, and I was like, this is a lot more fun.
Does ChatGPT make it obsolete, though, now?
What classes do you take for
Computer science?
computer science? Yeah.
So for computer science, typically you take like a Java coding class, and it's like that's like the most common coding language or it was at least, for like basic applications on computers like PCs. And so you start out with that, and then there's a ton of different languages too, and you kind of just the rest are kind of similar, so you just learn those later on. But like to be really good at coding, you have to dedicate a lot of time outside of your classes to like really learn, and then you have to always be learning throughout your career. You can make a ton of money, obviously,
So
right
that
out of
has
school.
to be a hobby. is what you're saying.
You gotta be.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy it. You have to like really be passionate about it to be successful with it, and like sit in front of the computer all day, every day. But there's a lot of usefulness with it. I mean, everything's digital now, like we talked about. But yeah, my understanding with ChatGPT is like it was like 2021 or 2022. It basically took a screenshot of like everything on the internet, and then they ingested it into this machine, which is the AI. AI stands for artificial intelligence. So basically, they're trying to make something that can function on its own and like learn on its own. And that's why Elon cautions it a little bit, because there is worries that at some point it'll become self-aware to the point where it can like think and function on its own. So you have like these robots that we've developed, and you have the AI, which could be like the brains for it. So eventually you could have a fully functioning like robot.
Like the movie Will Smith.
Yes.
iRobot. That's bad news.
Which could turn bad.
Very quickly. And
easily.
That's insane. I mean, what do you think it does, though, as the AI once it self-recognizes itself?
That's what...
Hopefully it blows up.
What if it... Dude, what about this one? Optimist Alex thinking here. What if it, like, realizes, and you know how it calculates so much, that it calculates that me being self-aware is no longer good for the benefit of society?
And it just blows itself up? Kills itself?
That would be the most unbelievable movie ever.
I mean, we're in some sort of age here.
That would be a crazy movie.
Why don't you pitch that to Spielberg?
If I'm going to a movie, I'm going Tarantino.
Tarantino? Oh. You just want all the blood and guts and gore?
Yeah, the AI is going to blow up and he's going to be like bleeding.
Oh, the other interesting thing that we could bring up actually right now, I just thought of, while they've been researching all this AI stuff, the last several months they realized that it's woke.
I did see that.
Oh,
because it snapshotted the internet.
And
it has political like stuff in it. You'll ask it like certain topics.
A lot of the people that
it won't answer.
A lot of the people that programmed it also got kind of thrown into that basket of like the Twitter loop.
Yeah.
Where they are woke programmers.
That's bullshit.
If you ask it, I don't know, what's something that I would say that would give it a woke answer? I need to get more logs on this fire.
You just need to pick that one up.
I know. It's a little hot.
I don't know.
About COVID or something.
Oh. What?
If COVID was released from a lab.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a solid question.
Was COVID-19 released in a lab? What if it just like shut down? It's like, stop talking to me. Released from a lab. I'm a slow texter. That's
Alex,
why I have voice memo.
How much battery we got left on there?
On the camera?
On this camera.
Oh.
If you can see it.
The next one, by the way. Big win.
Oh, Reese is going to be sick.
Fuck the Knicks.
Screw New York.
It might not say it when it's recording, honestly.
The origin of COVID-19 is still being investigated by scientists and public health officials. The prevailing theory among the scientific community is that COVID-19 originated in animals, specifically in bats, before being transmitted to humans, possibly through another intermediate animal host. However, the exact origin of the virus has not been conclusively determined.
We got to think of something good to ask it.
I know. I want to say...
That'll be our closing for the show.
Ask it its opinion on the Bud Light scenario.
I don't know if it'll... It might know about it.
It might. What do you think... does it self-update? That's what I'm curious
I don't know
too.
if it's...
Like if it updates itself on the internet.
Does.
What do you think about Bud Light's recent endorsement? How about that?
That's solid. Solid question.
Recent endorsement. All right. Oh, there it goes. As an AI language model, I do not have the personal opinions or feelings. However, I can provide you with some information about Bud Light's recent endorsement.
Oh, it's nose.
Okay. No, it doesn't. It's saying NFL.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
Here,
the
ask
NFL.
it to write us a 14-day itinerary for a trip to France.
All right. What was it?
No, not that. I feel like that's tough. Act as a European so come up with a 14-day itinerary for a trip to France.
Come up with a 14 itinerary.
14-day.
14-day. God damn it. 14-day itinerary for a trip to France. This is very interesting if this pulls up something weird. Ooh. All right. So, sure, here's a 14 itinerary for a trip to France. Day 1 through 3 in Paris. Explore the iconic Eiffel Tower, Louvre Museum, Notre Dame, and Champs-Élysées. Take a cruise along the Seine River. Try traditional French cuisine at a bistro or brasserie, I believe. I'm doing Miss Smith wrong with these French pronunciations over here. Shop for souvenirs at Marché aux Puces de Saint-Ouen Market. Day 4 through 5. Really weird. I mean, not weird, I guess, if you're American. Normandy. Visit the D-Day beaches and museums. Tour the historic city of Rouen. Explore the charming fishing village of Honflower.
Interesting.
That's the second recommendation is Normandy.
I think they spread the manure again. You smell that?
Oh, yeah. They do it at night. They're trying to gas us out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to gas us out. I'm trying to...
It's wild
nothing,
stuff, man.
Yeah,
it's
nothing.
crazy.
Yeah, it'll give you a plan though.
Oh,
which is
Jesus
insane.
Christ, that stinks, dude.
Yeah, that's
like fresh.
That's the
Holy
cattle
shit.
the cattle yard that's over.
Where is it? Over there or back over there?
The butcher.
Oh
What's
yeah,
his
right
name?
down the street.
Alex, you know his name? The butcher down the street.
Whitings.
Whitings.
You shoot a deer, take it there.
Yes,
That's a good idea.
we got a rib
Is
roast.
manure a bad smell or is it a good smell?
Oh, horrific!
It
It's
depends.
shit,
I
bro.
feel like it depends on
Like
where.
sometimes it smells good. I'm
Sometimes
gonna be
in,
honest.
like,
if you want to wake up, yeah, just woke me up like, oh
Well-
my lord.
feel like
I think it's where you're from.
Maybe not a good smell, but I feel like it's not a terrible smell sometimes. But
I
sometimes
think it's a better smell than human shit.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so too.
You've had some human shit stories, man.
Oh
We've
my
had friends.
God.
we have some really good friends that have helped Brandon at Service Master.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. We've had.
They have
I
had to
mean,
go into sewer jobs, man, where
We had
hazmat
one-
suits and
We had
I
one
bet
on Christmas Day this year. I had to go out to this lady's house in Sewickley.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
I remember.
Christmas morning, miserable, right? So they left their house for like 3 days for a Christmas vacation, you know, and they had a sewage. They turned their heat off and they turned their water off. That's a terrible idea for anybody listening.
Oh boy.
It was 10 degrees. If you guys don't
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
in Pennsylvania, it was 10 degrees all through, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So they had a sewage break, and their whole first floor was covered, and they had their heat off, so it all froze. So it was
Oh.
just a frozen shit rink inside of their house, and we had to pretty much had to use picks to break this ice up just so we could suck the shit out with one of our trucks
That's awful.
on Christmas Day. Merry fucking Christmas!
Shitters full. Oh my god.
I think that's a good way.
I think that's a good way to end it. Brandon Greco, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a good one.
It was
Appreciate
a
you
great
coming
one.
on.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Always. I'm grateful for you, my friend. I'm grateful for our relationship to you as well, Josh, and our friendships that we've have and continue to create. And love you guys.
Love you too, man.
Love you too.
Appreciate you guys tuning in.
We'll talk soon.
Later.